The weekend started positively for many teams, especially those who arrived with upgrades after weeks of hard work at the factory. Several drivers admitted they were unsure of what to expect before the race weekend began, but from the very first laps they immediately felt more confidence in their cars. Many described the cars as more stable, balanced, and easier to push compared to previous races, with some even saying the feeling reminded them of last season. One driver explained that although there is still a lot to improve, he was very happy with his driving performance after managing pressure, recovering from a difficult start, and staying calm throughout the race. Even though he finished second, he admitted it felt frustrating because he believed they had enough pace to win. He praised Kimi for driving a strong and clean race, saying he never gave him an opportunity to get close enough for a proper fight after the pit stops. Another driver described his race as reasonably good overall, admitting there were a few moments that were not perfect, but considering how difficult overtaking was, he believed third place was likely the best result possible. He said the team still needs to find more pace, but overall he was happy to leave with a podium finish. Meanwhile, another driver called it a strange and difficult weekend from start to finish. He explained that after losing the rear of the car in turn 2 and spinning while trying to recover, the race became much harder. The team switched early onto hard tires, but after reviewing everything later, he felt they stayed on that compound for too long, which made tire management almost impossible near the end of the race. One driver was extremely disappointed after making a mistake on the final lap that likely cost him a podium finish. He admitted the error was completely his fault and said making a mistake at such a crucial moment was far below the standard he expects from himself. Another driver believed his team could have fought much higher if the car had remained undamaged. He explained that the car felt very competitive during the laps to the grid, which made him optimistic before the race started, but after getting caught behind another car spinning ahead of him, he suffered damage that completely ruined his pace. On the other hand, one team was very encouraged by their performance throughout the weekend. Their driver praised the huge effort from the factory, explaining that the team brought upgrades, new parts, and even a new chassis, all of which finally helped unlock stronger performance. He said the car looked much faster than the midfield teams and showed the level of pace the team had been hoping for. Another driver simply described his race as straightforward, saying he made a strong start, gained several positions early on, and after that things settled down. One team admitted they were disappointed to miss out on points but still believed they performed well considering they had brought no upgrades this weekend. Their driver explained that several unlucky moments during the race, including losing places on the opening lap and losing time during pit stops, prevented a stronger result. A driver who started from the back of the grid said the car actually had enough pace to fight for points, but without a safety car or unusual race circumstances, recovering higher than 12th place became nearly impossible despite several strong overtakes during the race. Another driver admitted the team lacked overall pace and struggled badly with tire degradation, explaining that pushing too hard quickly destroyed the tires and made it difficult to maintain rhythm. Still, he believed there were positives to take into the next race in Montreal. One rookie driver said missing sprint mileage made the weekend especially difficult because he struggled for grip on the medium tires early in the race, although the car felt much better once the team switched onto hard tires. He admitted there is still a lot to learn but promised to review everything carefully with the team and continue improving. Another team focused on the positives despite difficult performance, pointing out that both cars managed to finish the race for the first time all season while several technical vibration issues were finally fixed. One driver described his race as chaotic but enjoyable after suffering both floor and front wing damage early on, yet still enjoying a close battle with Fernando near the end of the race. Meanwhile, another driver admitted there was very little enjoyment due to ongoing technical problems and poor performance, simply hoping the team can improve soon. One rookie explained that tire degradation remained a major issue despite some improvements with fresh tires, while also admitting he made a mistake with the steering wheel controls that resulted in a penalty. Another driver suffered contact with a Williams car in turn 1, damaging his front wing and forcing an early pit stop before later retiring due to a technical issue during the safety car period. One driver explained that a sudden gearbox problem caused the car to go into neutral while braking into the final corner, leaving him without gears and unable to stop properly. Unfortunately, the issue forced him to retire and also collected another driver in the incident. Another driver said his start was actually very strong, climbing several positions immediately, but after another car spun directly in front of him, he had to brake suddenly to avoid contact, causing him to lose many places again. Despite the setback, he remained confident because he knew the car had enough pace to recover into the top 10 before a later scary incident changed everything. Finally, one driver admitted the result hurt badly because the car had shown excellent pace throughout the race and overtaking felt easy. He said everything happened so quickly during the accident that before he could react, the car was already in the wall, leaving him extremely disappointed for throwing away valuable points and damaging the car. Despite the mixed emotions after the race, many teams left the weekend feeling more optimistic than they had in recent events. Several drivers pointed out that the upgrades clearly moved their cars in the right direction, even if there is still a gap to the front-running teams. Team bosses and engineers were especially encouraged by the improved balance and stability, with many saying the cars finally felt more predictable over long runs. For some teams, simply finishing the race without major reliability problems was already considered progress after a difficult start to the season. Drivers repeatedly mentioned how demanding the circuit was on tires, with many struggling to control degradation while also trying to push for positions. Because of that, strategy became one of the biggest deciding factors of the race, and several teams later admitted that different tire choices or better timing during pit stops could have completely changed their final result. There were also several dramatic moments throughout the race that completely changed the outcome for multiple drivers. Early incidents forced some drivers into recovery races almost immediately, while others lost valuable positions avoiding spinning cars in chaotic battles in the opening laps. A few drivers believed they had enough pace for strong points or even podium finishes before mistakes, contact, or technical problems destroyed their chances. One driver admitted the pain of making a costly mistake on the final lap was difficult to accept because the team had worked so hard all weekend to put themselves in that position. Another driver explained that losing the car so suddenly during a high-speed moment happened so quickly that there was barely any time to react before ending up in the wall. Meanwhile, teams dealing with reliability problems were left frustrated again after seeing promising races ruined by mechanical failures, including gearbox and technical issues that forced retirements. At the same time, several younger drivers continued showing signs of progress despite difficult circumstances. Some admitted they are still learning how to manage tire degradation, steering wheel controls, and race strategy at the highest level, but they remained positive about the experience gained throughout the weekend. Others highlighted how important missing practice or sprint mileage can be, especially on difficult circuits where confidence and rhythm matter so much. Even drivers who finished outside the points felt encouraged by their race pace and overtaking ability, believing the results did not fully reflect their true performance. Many now look ahead to more traditional tracks in the upcoming races, hoping those circuits will allow their cars to perform closer to their natural strengths. Overall, while some drivers left frustrated over missed opportunities, crashes, or strategy mistakes, others saw the weekend as an important step forward and proof that their teams are slowly moving in the right direction. As the weekend came to an end, the paddock was filled with mixed emotions. Some teams celebrated clear progress after difficult races earlier in the season, while others were left frustrated over missed opportunities that could have completely changed their championship position. Drivers repeatedly mentioned how small details made a huge difference throughout the race, whether it was tire strategy, pit stop timing, setup decisions, or simply avoiding trouble during the chaotic opening laps. Many admitted that the race was far more physically and mentally demanding than expected because tire management became a constant struggle from start to finish. Several drivers explained that even when the car felt quick over one lap, maintaining that performance during long runs was extremely difficult because the tires overheated quickly and lost grip faster than expected. This forced many teams into defensive driving styles rather than allowing drivers to fully attack. For the teams that brought upgrades, the overall feeling was mostly positive despite not all of them achieving the results they wanted. Engineers and drivers both agreed that the improvements gave them a better understanding of the car and provided a stronger base for future races. Some drivers said the car finally reacted in a more predictable way during corner entry and high-speed sections, which allowed them to drive with much more confidence. Others believe the upgrades still need fine-tuning, but at least the direction now appears clearer than it did a few races ago. Several teams also admitted that they are still trying to close the large performance